Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to this PS Euro Series, PS Euro Series round 6 stream of the Singapore Grand Prix. Sorry for the silence, I was finishing off my dinner, but I'm here now and I'm ready to commentate the fantastic race, and already here in qualifying we've had a lot of drama, both Ferraris going for spins and other drivers making contact as well. Verify currently has a 5 place grid penalty. Jamie James may have one too, but I definitely know Verify has one, so a lot of drama already, but GeForce Pato is looking to carry on his strong form of podiums and possibly take pole position here, as he's run a bit wide there, and that may cost him some lap time as he now swings through the next turn into what used to be the Singapore Sling. Mikel is out of the session. He will play no further part in tonight's qualifying session and will start 11th at best. Next cross line will be the first cross line I believe is going to be GeForce Pato. Actually, it's going to be Verified, but Verified to start in his lap, so unless Euro Ken was also an out lap, so yeah, I think I'm right in saying GeForce Pato will be the first person to cross the line for their final flyer in this qualifying session. So let's see what the McLaren driver can do as he now comes to the line. It's all or nothing now. He has to push everything through the last few corners. It's P2. He's improved by 5/10, but it's not good enough to get him provisional pole, but it's good enough to put him onto the front row. Next cross line will be the Williams of Alexis Beast. He moves himself up into the top 10 for now. Next is Prime Vizu, the Finnish man who's not been on pole in quite a few races. Can he put himself back on track here? No, he cannot. He has to put into pit, and he's made a mistake on his lap, and that is going to be excruciating for the Alfa Romeo driver, who starts P4 at best. Next cross line will be Makiek. He missed last week but had a podium before that. He can do 9th at best, and Passion Chester improves to an identical time as GeForce Pato, but unfortunately it's not good enough. Eero Ken has invalidated on his qualifying lap, so he will not improve on his lap time. So now this leaves it up to any other driver who's on a flying lap to take pole position. Could Drax possibly steal the pole position here in Singapore? He's wide through the 5th for SPR Drax. Next cross line will be Jamie James. He's surely the only man who can realistically dethrone Eero Ken here at Singapore. He swings through the final 2 corners. What can Jamie James do? It's not good enough for pole. He misses out by about 500. Verify barely improves, and Dr. Me moves himself up to 14th, with Passionless to move himself up into 12th, and Arrows on a slow lap. So that will be the end of qualifying, and once again Eero Ken is on pole position. So McLaren pick up P2 and P3, so a good starting position for them. Alfa Romeo will not be overly happy with their P6 start for Prime Vizu, but at least they've secured the P1 for with Eero Ken, as we now head towards the qualifying results. So as usual, Eero Ken starts on pole position here, But very close qualifying session with Jamie James only being 500ths off at the end. G-Force Pato and Passion Chester both set identical times there in P3 and P4 and line up on the second row alongside each other. But G-Force Pato says time first, so starts ahead. SVR Drat starts from P5. Prime Visual will start from P6 for Alfa Romeo, who will be quite disappointed. Verify will start down in P12 due to this 5-place grid penalty, moving Adamatis, Makiak, Alexis Bees, Kisiak and Passion Instant up all one position. Mikhail will start from 13th with Dr. Me 14th, Passion Ferretto in 15th, X-Ups Crown Guy in 16th, Passion Rockin' and Passion Jack on the 9th row of the grid for Ferrari, and Tarberg and Aero rounding out the grid here. As we now go towards the race start, and it's raining here in Singapore. So just like real life, it rains in the race. Fortunately, there will be no delays to the race as it is obviously the F1 game. But I'm looking at, I'm seeing full wet tires down at the garage. So yeah, full wets here in many of the garages, but so everyone has gone for the wet combat tires. So I wonder if we will possibly get a transition to the intermediate compound tires, or possibly dries like real life. That would be interesting. But these wet compound tires are definitely going to spice things up, because people will be struggling here in the wet conditions. Singapore's tricky enough in the dry, so with this extra enthusiasm, I'm sure that it's going to be a very, very interesting race. But as we go towards 5 red lights, of course, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure to do that to help us out as a community. And if you want to support us even further, you can follow us on other platforms. I believe there is a Twitter, so you can go ahead and follow that. But if you're just here with us for today, I hope you enjoy this race. It's going to be very spicy. Two McLaren starting P2 and P3. It'll be interesting to see what they can do against Euro Ken, who once again takes another pole position and race gets himself in the perfect position to start the race. But we all know how quickly that can change. It's changed very quickly in previous weeks. Let's see how this race progresses as we go towards 5 red lights. All the drivers are lining up now for the start of this Singapore Grand Prix. Who will win at Marina Bay Circuit? Who will be the most composed? Who will keep their cool? And who will keep it out of the walls? Most importantly, in these very difficult conditions, we will see, as a lot of drivers already getting disqualified for messing up their grid parking position. But now we're going to go towards 5 red lights here. And it's lights out and away we go for the Singapore Grand Prix. Good start by Aero Ken. Doesn't get bogged down as much as Jamie James, but Jamie James could be looking to the inside towards turn 1. Nothing doing there. Bad start for Pasha Chester, who's been overtaken by Drax on the outside. 3 wide behind between the Alpine, the Haas, and the Alfa Romeo now as they go 3 wide on the exit of turn 3. Surely it's not going to work. There is Williams in the wall. The Alpine of Passion Instant is struggling to get any sort of traction in those wet compound tyres. Now a beautiful move by Lexus Beast to go down the inside as they now fly down the straight here, heading towards turn 5, I want to say, of this racetrack. There's contact between Lexus Beast and Verify, and the Aston Martin is spun around, and he's not the only loser of this race start. Pasha Ferretto and Aero also made major contact somewhere, and the Crown-Ups guys in the wall already, and that could trigger a safety car. And on lap one of what's looking like is going to be a very long 31, we've got our first safety car. There is X-Ops Crown guy in the wall, unfortunately. May have been pushed into the wall or may have made a driver mistake. Not too sure, but either way, the Mercedes driver is out of today's Singapore Grand Prix. But oh my god, I've completely missed. I completely missed. Jamie James overtook Euro Ken. What? Oh my god, wow. Euro Ken actually ran wide at turn 1, and that allowed Jamie James to get past. Well, he ran wide at turn 1, which swings into turn 2 and 3, and that allowed Jamie James to get past. And now we have a new race leader, and Jamie James leads in the McLaren. So good news for him. Not so much for Euro Ken, but we do have a safety car period to deal with, and I presume we'll see some pit stops here, especially down at Aston Martin with Mikel having no front wing. Getting a very interesting camera angle here as the car's coming to pit lane. So 4 people. What the? Wow. F1 game at its finest. What? Oh, this game is so what? Oh, okay. So they are in the pit. Okay, I don't know what on earth is happening here. But on my screen, they were in the pit lane 1 minute, and then they weren't. So now they're back in the pit lane, and the order's completely messed up. Just another prime example of Codemasters and how bad their games are. That's definitely a new glitch. Definitely a new one. But ignore the timing. Well, the interval gaps, because they're wrong, and ignore the race standings because they're also wrong. I think they're now finally updated. Jamie James is actually the race leader, so I don't know why it says 4 cars are in front of him. But yeah, new bug every time on this game. New day, new bug. It's crazy, to be honest. Like, but anyways, I'm not here to complain about the F1 game. I'm here to commentate this race. But we might have to wait quite a while before we get going, because the Ferrari of Passion Rockin, Passion Jack, who's currently in last, who's just exited sector 1, whilst these guys are starting a new lap. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But whilst that is happening, I will fill you in on the drivers and constructors series for the PS Euro series after 5 rounds in the championship. So it is Euro Ken on top with 129 points, with a massive gap back to P2, 46 points behind. GeForce Pato sits for McLaren. In P3 it's Prime Vizu with 75 points, only 8 between him and GeForce Pato. And in P4 it's Makiak with 64 points. Jamie James sits in 5th currently with 58 points. But keep in mind he did miss he has missed quite a fair few rounds, so he's doing pretty well considering how many he missed. However, he is already 71 points behind in the Drivers' Championship, so clearly some work to do there. Adam Matters-Clyde sits in 6th for Alpine with 55 points, and Drax follows him closely with 53 points for Haas. In P8 it's Passion Instant with 44 points, and Verifies is in 9th with 39 points. Alexis Beast is 10th with 32 points. 31 points for Pasha Ferretto in P11, and 31 points for FVR Mali, who's actually reserved for this tier but did win in Italy, so congratulations to him. I don't think he's raced in any other race apart from that Italy race, so good job to get his points and then leave. But well, not leave, but like, he doesn't race in this tier, he races in the other tier, I believe. So Rogue Flash with 29 points is P13. Tommy PLI is 14th with 24 points. Ferry SF sits at 50 with 20 points. Passion Chester's in 16th with 16 points. Infamous SMG is 17th with 15 points. Tarberg sits in 18th with 7 points. Kisiak in 19th with 6 points. The Doctor Me in 20th with 6 points. All of these guys are reserves. And then the well, we're going towards the safety car restart. Okay, I think we may be having a lobby restart, because whilst I was reading out the championship standings ignorantly, all chaos has ensued, and what is even happening? Is this just on my screen, or is this just me, or is the game seriously bugged right now? Like, what? Yeah, okay, so we are getting a race restart, because I no idea what has happened. But the game completely glitched, so now we have to go again. So, and now we have to wait for the second invite so we can get into the lobby. In the meantime, I'll show you some of my nice supercars, which no one cares about, because supercars are just useless. But anyways, I can show off some of the nice F1 cars if they actually want to load. Here's the Ferrari, of course, the special livery that they ran in Monza. I wonder when they would take this out of the game. It did take them quite a while to take out the Red Bull the Red Bull special livery in 2021 for the Japanese Grand Prix, which did not happen, which happened in which they ran in Turkey. Was that last year or was that the year before? That may have been. No, I think it was on last year's game. Yeah. Either way, it's still a special livery, and it's cool to see the F1 game actually getting some of these cool liveries into the game. But they need to work on like making the game actually work, because it just is broken all the time. Like every day there's a new glitch. It's just tiring, to be honest. anyways, we are back and we're gonna go towards a second race start of this Singapore Grand Prix, and I've got very interesting information, which is that it'll dry up later in the race, and that is definitely going to spice things up as anyways, the race start will still be in these wet conditions. I believe we do have a formation lap on again. Yeah, we do. So everyone given a second chance at this race restart. Those who didn't do well will be given a chance to redeem themselves, and those that did are going to have to try and repeat what happened last time. SH Crown Guy X has gone the biggest second chances. He's now back into the race when he was previously DNF. But we are minutes, seconds away from starting this Singapore Grand Prix. Hopefully, once and for all, hopefully no more restarts. No more restarts will be needed here. But this is going to be a very interesting 31 laps of Singapore, of the Marina Bay circuit. I would see in real life a very interesting race that actually ended up timing out. Fortunately, I don't think you can get timed out in the F1 game. Actually, that's a lie. You can't get timed out in these kind of races, like 50% races, but I believe if you take too long in 100% races, you can actually be timed out, which is quite unfortunate. But I don't know, it shouldn't take too long anyways to complete the race. Like if you got timed out in 100% race, then either your driving is really slow or there's just been a lot of chaos and a lot of safety cars and stuff. But anyways, that is not our focus, as the drivers are now Passion Chester. Drivers are now starting to line up here for the race start. Passion Chester was into the wall, and I'm sure would have heated up his tyres quite nicely, but of course it would not be ideal to know that he's already making mistakes before he even started. The final car to cross, get into their grid spot will be Aero, who also had a moment into the wall before the race start. But here we go. The game's giving me the worst possible camera angle for this race start, but it's 5 red lights and away we go here in Singapore. It's an equal start for the front two, but GeForce Pato gets the better, Jamie James gets the better traction through the second phases of the corner, and he's up into P1 once again. GeForce Pato's going to have a look here as there's chaos behind his, there's the Aston Martin and Verify round once again, and once again he cannot keep it facing the right direction off the race start. That's Makiet trying to go clean around the Adam Matisky. Can he make it work here on the Alpes? They now have a drag race down the straight. He will come out best, as also in front Prime Vizu is having a look at Passion Chester, who's fallen down a position off the race start, and Prime Vizu makes the move. As Matches Kai holds on from Makia, and in the background, Exodus Crown Guy is going for a move on Alexis Beast, but Alexis Beast trying to fight back as they now go into the corner where Hamilton locked up just this weekend. Alexis Beast takes a position, and that is the Alpine of Passion Instant hitting Kisiek, who's now lost 2 positions, possibly a third here, to Passion Rocking as they swing down to the old Singapore Sling. Kisiek's going to keep his foot in here, but he has to back out. Smartly decides to back out, and there's the Haas of Tarberg, who's got no front wing. I presume damage there from contact that's verified, trying to go clean around the outside Passion, making it work, to be fair to him, as Mikhail and Alexis Beast get past Exops Crown Guy, who had a bit of a look there on the 2 drivers, but Aero has had a very tentative race start, and Tarberg is even attacking Passion Jack here despite having no front wing. He's playing a very dangerous game because the moment he messes up, he's straight into the wall, but he's actually made it work, and that is actually really impressive. Like, with no front wing at all, like the whole thing gone, he just made a genuine on-track overtake on the Ferrari, unless the Ferrari also has damage, but visually I cannot see that. But anyways, let's focus in at the top as Mikhail's into pit lane here for Aston Martin. Let's see who else follows him in. Obviously Tarberg will be in, but they are the only 2 guys to pit off this first lap. But meanwhile at the top it is Jamie James who's gotten the better of the Alfa Romeo at the start once again. So 2 times in a row, ERO Ken not getting the best start off the line. So I don't know. I was gonna say maybe he needs to work on that starting strategy, but obviously, hopefully, we will have no more restarts, so that should not be an issue. Maybe he just needs to work on tire temperature, as that could cost him if there were to be another safety car. But meanwhile, Kisiek is looking for a move on the dock to me here for P12 and P13. He's lost quite a few positions at the start of getting hit by Passion instantly. You see Verify in the background fighting, ringing his Aston Martin there through turn 8, I want to say, but maybe turn 7, but I'll go with turn 8. But anyways, at the front, good gap for Jamie James. He's just about keeping the Euro Ken out of DRS range. Of course, no DRS in these conditions though. But these 2 are starting to pull away from G-Force Pato and the rest of the drivers who are unable to keep up with the pace of the top 2 so far, and that is a reoccurring theme we've seen this season. Drivers not able to keep up with Euro Ken and Jamie James, and there is Prime Vizu making his way past SPR Drax, who makes a mistake, a big mistake out of the final corner. And meanwhile, behind, Makiak is going to be attacking Alexis Beast here in towards turn 1. Thinks better of it though and stays behind for now. Through turn 1, 2 and 3, but Alexis Beast is all out of shape here coming out of turn 3, but Makiak cannot make anything work. He's actually run a bit wide into turn 5. He's going to invite his teammate Exo's Crown Guard to have a look at him in towards turn 6 and 7, sorry, turn 5 and 6. Can the Mercedes make a move on his teammate? No, Makiak's going to defend it well in towards turn 7. And will keep the position, but Exo's Crown Guy makes a dive down the inside at turn 8 and puts himself back ahead of his teammate. Makiak almost tried to fight it there, and I believe there may have been a little bit of a tap, a love tap between 2 Mercedes, and all their battling has just allowed, oh, big contact there between the Dr. Me and Makiak, and Verifies lost his front wing because he went into the back of them. But all the Mercedes fighting has just ended in one of them just being completely wiped out by an AlphaTauri through no fault of his own. But of course, if they hadn't fought in the first place, there would be no reason that Makiak would have been taken out. And Verify, unfortunately, the big loser, is he loses another piece of end plate there on... he actually loses his whole wing there on the exit of turn 14. So now the Aston Martin has to box for a new front wing, and that is going to be detrimental to his race. But meanwhile, at the front, things are hotting up because Euro Ken is starting to pick up the pace, and he's starting to turn the wick up and really start to put the pressure on Jamie James as Adam Mattis climbs into pit lane, so possibly damage for him as well, unless he's going for a very early pit stop onto Inters. And yes, he is. Adam Mattis climbs in for a very, very early pit stop onto the intermediate compound tyres. And this is a huge gamble. Is it going to work out? Let's see what Verify goes on to, because he also has to, he's also onto the Inters. So is it time for the intermediate compound tyres? Or have these guys gone too early? I did not expect the intermediate condition. Oh, that is Tarberg nearly out of this Grand Prix. I did not expect the intermediate conditions to appear so early. Aero's already been lapped here. He's not having a great race, to be honest, at the back. But Adam Mattis, he's struggling. He's backwards down turn 4 and turn 5, almost reminiscent of Sebastian Vettel at 2018, and he's actually left the session. So Adam Mattis has gone for the Inters. It's clearly not paid off, and he's spun coming out turn 3 and is going down the road backwards like Sebastian Vettel in 2018. But he's immediately left the session, so I guess we'll have to stay on board with Verify to see how he progresses on the intermediate tyres, and that'll give us a good that will be representative of whether it is time for Inters, as there's a Ferrari off through the old Singapore sling. That is Passion Jack, I believe. But meanwhile, that is an AlphaTauri going slow of Aero once again. Moved down the inside here by Verify on Passion Jack. Makes his way up into P17. So the Inters don't look awfully bad right now. Like, they seem to be working okay. I don't know if that's just because Passion Jack doesn't have much pace, but we have another person into pit lane, Passion Instant. So is he also going to go for the intermediate compound tyres here? Down at Alpine, will they both make the switch? Yes, they will. Passion Instant's in for the Inters, and we're going to have to watch Verify's lap times and how much time he's closing in, because that's really going to let us know whether it's time for the intermediate cover tyres yet. And oh, we have a safety car. Verify. Okay, so Passion Jack has gone straight on and misses braking point at turn 18 just before the tunnel, and that's yeah, there was a lot of debris on the track, but how does that trigger the full course safety car? And Exos Crown guys picked out a driver who's feeding on the safety car. Verify is now back into the pit lane here for new set of the intermediate compound tyres. Passion Jack is also going for the Inter, so a lot of drivers making that switch, and now we're going to have to keep all eyes on the front. Will the leaders fall? Will the leaders also box for the intermediate compound tyres, or will they try to long it out here on the wet compound tyres? I presume they'll probably just box for Inters. Like, a lot of people are coming in for Inters at the moment. Like, it would make perfect sense for them to box. This is a great opportunity for them, and Jeremy James and Euro Ken are going to take this opportunity. GeForce Pato and Prime Vizu will also take this opportunity, but they're going to lose a bit of time because of the double stack. Drax is also in, so he might gain 2 positions here if he's lucky with the double stacks. But GeForce Pato, oh, Jamie James has wing damage, so GeForce Pato has to wait for him to fix his wing, and clean double stop here from Alfa Romeo. They're both going to get out ahead of GeForce Pato, but SPR Drax has jumped Prime Vizu because of the double stack. So now Eero Ken has inherited the race lead due to Jamie James's front wing damage. Jamie James is down to P2, and Drax has managed to jump 2 cars in the pit lane. And it's even worse news for GeForce Pato because he's been jumped by the Red Bull, Apache Chester. So he's gone from P3 to P6 in the pit lane simply because his teammate had wing damage. So rather unfortunate news for the McLaren driver there. He's now down to P6 in the race, and he's going to have his work cut out for him. But of course, remember, this race will transition to dry at some point in the race, so that is definitely going to spice things up, as we'll have another crossover point. But at the moment, it's intermediate compound tyres that is strapped onto pretty much everyone's car apart from Adam Mattis' car, whose AI stupidly came back into the pit lane and is now boxing again to put on the inters. And Aero, who's just not having a good race in general, to be honest, and I don't think he knows that it's time for the inters yet. But we'll see if he comes in on his next trip to the pit lane, because he's now the only driver still on the full wet compound tyres. Even Adamatis Kai's AI has come in, so I think that pretty much confirms that it is intermediate tyre conditions here at the moment. But if you are looking forward to the rest of the season, then you'll love to see what few races we have in stock next. We have Japan as round 7, followed by round 8 Great Britain sprint race, and then round 9 is USA, with round 10 being Mexico. Round 11 is the French Grand Prix, with round 12 being hosted by Brazil. That is also a sprint race. Abu Dhabi will host round 13, and round 14 will take place at Australia, and round 15, the final race and final sprint race of the season, will be at Saudi Arabia. So plenty to look forward to. Next week, of course, we'll be heading to Suzuka, run by personal favourites to drive and to commentate on. I used to not really enjoy the track, but something's clicked with me, so I really like the track now. I really can't wait for this weekend. It's going to be awesome, and who knows, maybe Max Verstappen will be crowned champion here in Japan, as many previous greats have. But for the sake of competitiveness, hopefully Leclerc can pick up a win and keep whatever slim chance he has of winning the championship alive. But most likely Max is going to wrap it up in one of the next few races. But there's always the possibility of surprise. There's always an element of surprise that comes with sports, so we'll just have to wait and see. But so far in this season, it's been Eero Ken who's been our own mini Max Verstappen, dominating pretty much most races. I believe he's won 2 from 5. Yeah, he won in Netherlands and Spain. Netherlands and Spain he won in, and Wait. No. He won... Yeah, he won in Netherlands and Spain. Because F1 Mali won in Italy. Jamie James won in Miami. And round 1 was won by... who won round 1? I think it might have been Era Ken. So maybe 3 out of 5 wins so far. I'll check that on the standings. I don't know. I know he definitely won last race and the race before. But I don't know if he won round 1. He did not win at Belgium, but I don't know who won at Belgium. So it doesn't say on the standings results. Who won at Belgium? I'm gonna have to go back and check this because I actually have no clue who won at Belgium. But I don't remember. But anyways, Era Ken has won 2 out of 5, and he's also been on the podium for all 5 races. So he's definitely the man to beat so far in this season. And I'm suddenly remembering there was a Haas that won at Belgium. I can't remember what the driver's name was though, but they dominated qualifying, took pole by like 8 tenths, and then went on to win the race. VR Vogel, he won round 1, and he was not in the Haas, he was in the Williams. So VR Vogel was who won round 1. And then I believe he's a reserve driver, or he left the league, so he's not raced in any other races this season. But whilst he's not been, Era Ken has been absolutely dominating the pack here, and leads the way once again in this Singapore Grand Prix. But the safety car is now into the pit lane, and we're going to get ready to go racing once again here in Singapore. So we now go towards the safety car restart. Can Era Ken pull off another fantastic win? He's definitely had some struggles from safety car restarts this season. The Miami sprint race being the most notable one, where he spun, but he's going to get us going underway. And once again, he has a bit of a moment off the safety car restart, but Jamie James not had the best restart himself. And now this is going to set up the top 2 in towards turn 1. Era Ken defends well, but Jamie James is going to try and go for the switch back in towards turn 3. But whilst doing that, ASPR drags from nowhere around the outside. The Haas is going to try take P2 from Jamie James, but Jamie James defends well. And meanwhile, Lexus Beast is all over the back with G-Force Factor here, but nothing doing for the Williams. And Verify is making his way up the pack, and Passion Rockin' and Passion Fretto are both into the pit lane at the back. But meanwhile, it is Era Ken who still leads this Grand Prix. SPR Drax having a look all over the back of Jamie James. Could Alexis Beast go for it here on G-Force Pato? Tried it in towards turn 9, but nothing doing for the Williams. So he has to stick behind in towards turn 10 and towards turn 11. The old Singapore Sling, as I believe someone has Passion Chester. Yeah, Passion Chester lost out massively at the safety car restart. He's down from P5 to P7, but he's going to gain a position here on Lexus Beast, who's actually just hit the wall there through turn 11. So he's going to have front wing damage. He's going to have to try and nurse home to the pit lane. But whilst Passion Chester is trying to get Lexus Beast, he's been caught up a little bit, and maybe Xop's Crown Guy could have a look at him. At the moment, nothing doing for the Mercedes driver. He has to stick behind in towards turn 14. But it is Mikel ahead of Verify at the moment. The Aston Martins doing duel here. Verify's going to switch up, set his team up for a very lovely switchback and get the move done in towards turn 18. That was some brilliant racing by Verify there, who just set his teammate up through turn 17 and swooped through at turn 18. But meanwhile, ERA Ken has the pace and he's in P1 now. And Makiek's into the pit lane. No, sorry, Kisiak's into the pit lane. And Exop's Crown Guy is actually into pit lane as well. And so is Alexis Beast. So those three drivers picking up damage on the safety car restart, unfortunately for them. But meanwhile, at the front, ERA Ken leads from Jamie James from SBR Drax, who is ahead of Prime Vizu in P4. Verify has just gone past Makiek for P8 there. But GeForce Pato, Passion Chester, and the Dr. Me are P7 to P5 to P7, as Mikhail also makes his way past the Mercedes on Makiek. So Makiek is falling, he's plummeting down the order here. Now he's going to get overtaken by Tarberg as well. Through turn 9 and 10, gives the Haas a bit of a tap, but the Haas squeezes through around the outside, and now here comes Passion Instant. The Belgian wants to get in on the action, and he's going to do that as he goes down the inside of the old Singapore Sling and takes P11. So Makiek just lost like, what, 4 or 5 positions in the space of a few corners, and we have another safety car. No one's DNF'd, and I don't see anyone with damage, so I'm not really sure what this safety car has been called out for. Passion Jack's front wing's intact. Esso's Crown Guy, his front wing's intact. Front wing intact. Front wing intact. Front wing intact. Passion Rockin has crashed and it's triggered another safety car. Was it? I swear it was also Passion Rockin that triggered the first safety car. Or was that Passion Jack? I don't know. Maybe the admin should look at turning the safety car settings down from standard to reduced, because like the game is just giving out way too many safety cars, which we really do not need. Like, this race is long enough as it is. But drivers are going to have to go again. Eero Ken is going to get a second chance at that restart, which he barely survived the first time round. But here we are for safety car restart number 2, I believe. And welcome to the chat, Adamatis Cry. Oh, that is quite unfortunate. That's quite unfortunate for you. But you should have just stayed in the race, man. Like, literally so many laps left. and we've already had like 2 safety cars since he left. Like, it's potential for anything, to be honest, in this race, and it's gonna dry up as well, which will also add in a lot of chaos. But there's always next week, and we still have, after this we still have, I want to say, like 8 or 9 more races, so it's all good. Plenty of time left in the season. Welcome to the stream, Verify. I'm having plenty of fun. The racing's actually pretty good, to be honest. I just like if there are a lot less safety car laps. Like, it's quite dark, but at the front it's Yoro Ken who leads, from Jamie James from SVR Drax. Drax will be hopeful, like, with the switch to drier conditions later on in the race, he'll be hoping to capitalize on that. Like, he's definitely not had the luck of any of the other top guys this season. He's always been consistently up there, but it's been luck that's been his major downfall, his Achilles heel. So he'll be hoping for a bit of that tonight, and I could propel him to a possible first race win, or get him on the podium for the second time this season, because he got a podium at Miami, but I don't think he's scored a podium anywhere else in this season. But Passion Rockin' is still in Sector 2, so that means we might not even get... the safety car's not going to come in, is it? We got another lap of safety car. Yay. Passion Rockin' is just... we just finished Sector 2. So, gonna have to wait for the Ferrari to catch up. But Passion Rockin' is now caught up to the back, so hopefully the safety car will come in this lap. And yes, it is in this lap. Race control confirming that for us, as we now go towards safety car restart number 2 in this race. But all eyes will be on the battle at the front once again between Euro Ken and Jamie James. Who will get the better restart? Last time it was Jamie James who started off better, but unfortunately couldn't get the move done in towards turn 1. But can he possibly do it this time? Surprisingly, no DNF so far in this race, although we have had 2 safety cars. and quite a lot of front wing loss as Tarberg's picked up a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Kissiak. And once again, Jamie James gets a good restart out of the final corner. Pasha is right into the wall there in the background, and that is going to lose the Red Bull plenty of positions. GeForce Pato and a look at Prime Visu, but nothing doing there for the Red Bull, for the McLaren driver, as that is Alexis Beast and Xbox Crown guy go side by side. Prime Visu and GeForce Pato have made contact somewhere or somehow, and they've lost a bunch of position. Prime Visu's down to P8, and it's a P6 position that GeForce Pato now finds himself in, but he's going to get back past Passion Instant here down the straight and move himself back up to P8. That is Makiet, goes straight on there at turn 7, nearly went off into the runoff like we saw Verstappen do in Sunday's Grand Prix, but Makiet currently sits in P9, and Pascharetto is out of the session. That could be another safety car. Please do not be another safety car. Doesn't look like another safety car will be called out, but Makiek is kind of wishing it. Okay, I was going to say he's kind of wishing it was, because he was getting overtaken by Alan Matskai, but that was just Alan Matsakai's AI cars. Passion Jack went over very aggressively to left and left a lot of trust in Essop's ground guy to not place his Mercedes down that gap, and to be fair, they made it out alive out of the corner. But now Essop's crown guy is going to have the slipstream of the Ferrari down to turn 14. Late braking and possibly a bit ambitious with that move there, as Tarberg is going to weave between them and make a beautiful double overtake. Goes clean around the outside of Mercedes. Is now doing battle with Verify, who's been up and down this whole race here in that Aston Martin. Gave a bit of a love tap to the Ferrari there in towards turn 18. We've already seen one Ferrari in the wall at that corner, but Kissiak lost the position, and that is Pasha Jack getting all out shape on the curb, and he's going to get overtaken by Verify and Kissiak, and Kissiak's had to go a bit off track, so maybe opportunity for the Ferrari to attack back, but nothing doing there through turn 1. But meanwhile at the front, good restart for Euro Ken. He's maintained his lead, and SPR Drax is already starting to drop off the top 2. The Dr. Me currently sits at P4, but not anymore, because that is GeForce Pato going clean around the outside of the Williams. But to be fair, he's going to fight it back in towards turn 7, but that's actually left him vulnerable to the Belgian driver Passion Instant, who's going to go down the inside of the Williams. The Williams fights back, to be fair, as they now head down in towards turn 10, but Passion Instant takes P5 from and moves himself up and follows through with GeForce Pato. But look how much time these guys have lost. The rest of the to the top 3 already. Almost 4 seconds. 4 seconds between GeForce Pato and SBR Drax in P3. So heaps of time lost there battling, and GeForce Pato will not be too pleased with that one. But another man who won't be too pleased right now is Prime Visu, who unfortunately lost out on the safety car restart. I'm not too sure what happened, but I'm pretty confident there was some contact between him and the McLaren of GeForce Pato. So the two main championship rivals, so two main Constructors Championship rivals have come to blows here in Singapore. But meanwhile, it's Alfa Romeo 1, McLaren 2, Haas 3, and the pace is being turned on as GeForce Pato's into pit lane. Tarberg's out of the session. Tarberg's out of the session. That could be a safety car. It is a safety car, and GeForce Pato's in. It's GeForce Pato going for the soft compound, the mediums. It's the mediums for GeForce Pato, and now this could be huge. Is it time for the... Everyone's coming in for the medium compound tyres. I think it's time for the dries. I think it may be time for the dry compound tyres. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, 6 now into the pit lane for mediums. 7 cars into pit lane. Well, Aero goes with the hards, but 6 cars, 7 cars in for the slick compound tyres. Luckily for Euroken and these guys, they did not get caught in the safety car, but that's really unfortunate for Tarberg. He was actually having a pretty decent race up until that point, but we now have a third safety car of the night, just over half race distance, so not ideal, but I presume all these guys will be into the pit lane. Just like at the first safety car, the leaders will be given time to react and do not get caught up behind the safety car immediately. So they'll all have time to react, so this is good for them. But the thing is that I don't think G-Force Pattern will be able to jump any of the top three. Top three are all into the pit lane. I presume everyone will be into the pit lane. Track is now bone dry, and yeah. Oh, Mikel made a very late call to come to the pit lane there, and did cross the pit lane entry. That may be a penalty, but I don't think so. But oh, that was close. Jeremy James almost jumped Yoro Ken, but nothing doing for the McLaren driver, as he keeps P2, P3. And G-Force Pato, I was going to say it would have been tight between him and Passion Instant, but he has managed to come out ahead. But problem is now, all these guys have fresher tyres in him. But it's only one lap, so it shouldn't be too detrimental to his tyre health as we go towards the end of the race. But we're all onto the slick compound tyre, and I presume we may see another safety car, so in that case it'd be a sprint to the end for many of the drivers, who'd probably, I could see quite a few going for the soft compound tyres. Animatics Cly car, his AI cars in for the hard compound tyres at the back, so we're gonna have to wait for his AI to catch the pack before we can get going once again. But safety car restart number 3, Hero can control the first two very well, but can he do the same here on the dry compound tires? Will he be able to have the same amount of success as he did last time? We just have to wait and see. But here we go for safety car restart number 3. Safety car is in this lap, so we're going to get racing here once again. Can Jamie James get a good restart for once and possibly take away Euro Ken's advantage? And he has got a really good restart here. Adam Mattis' AI car is out of the session, but that doesn't matter because at the front Jamie James tried it once again, but once again he cannot make the move and actually gets attacked by the Haas from behind. But now he's going to leave SBR Drax vulnerable as he got squeezed out a bit out of turn 3, as now GeForce Pato is going to look for the move down straight of turn 5. At the moment nothing doing for the top 5 positions, but in the meantime it's chaos in the midfield. Could Passion Instant go for a move here in towards turn 7? Nothing doing there, as most people have actually held positions here off this safety car restart. Not a lot of action, or not as much as I would have thought. Prime Vizu, not really sure when this happened. The Prime Vizu has fallen down to P13 and he's on the hard compound tires, so not really sure what's going on for the Alfa Romeo driver there, who currently sits in P13. This definitely would not have been what he wanted, but his teammate is flying high once again, and Passion Instant is just picked up 3-second time penalty, and Essos Crown guys just gone past Alexis Beaton towards turn 18, and then they made contact. Alexis Beaton resets track, and Essos Crown guy has lost the whole of his front wing and also resets track, and now we've got a glitchy barrier, which is going to be sparking away for the rest of the race. But new fastest lap for Euro Ken, of course, much quicker than the previous fastest lap because that was set on the wet compound tire. So Essos Crown guy and Alexis B is trying to be too ambitious there and have a nice battle through turn 18 and turn 19, but of course it was never going to work there. And now both of them are into pit lane, both put on the stock compound tires until the end of the race. So I presume they'll only be battling themselves, as Mikel goes clean around the outside of Dr. Me for P11, sorry, for P7, P6 even, and Prime Visu makes the move up into P10 after getting Passion Jack, is now down to P11. So it is Euro Ken who leads, but Jamie James is right there, and of course because we're now in the dry conditions, the safety car will, sorry, not the safety car, the DRS will be enabled from the next lap, and Jamie James is certainly turning up the pace here. He's set a purple sector 2 there, showing his pace as Passion Chester makes a move past Passion Jack in towards turn 14. The Ferrari cannot defend. Now he's going to be under pressure from his teammate now in towards turn 15, 16, 17 and 18, which is the next turn coming up. We've already seen Passion rocking into the barrier. Turn 18, he actually went massively later on the brakes than his teammate and actually hit him. But new fastest lap for Euro Ken. None of the other top 4 can respond, but they're all going to be in a DRS train once this DRS is enabled, which it just has been. Passion Instance a bit further back. He's about 3.5 seconds adrift of GeForce Pato, so he is definitely out of the fight for the win as it stands. But at the moment, equal ERS levels for everyone, well, for top 4. So we'll have to wait and see how that battle develops. It could just end up being a DRS trade until the end of the race, but I'm sure we shall see some action from those guys. GeForce Pato is struggling to hang on to the back of these guys. He's now fallen 1.1 adrift to SBR Drax, so maybe he won't be able to keep up the pace, but as a move, a switch between the Ferraris. Passion Rockin is now the lead Ferrari in P12, and Verifies left the session, so I thought Alexis was going to have a nice battle with him, but unfortunately not, because the Aston Martin drivers left the session. Aero's having quite a lonely race. But in the meantime, Kisiak has just made a move on the Dr. Me down at turn 14, and now Makiek is going to be the next driver to attack the Williams, who decided to go for the hard compound tyres after his 80-car restart, and so far it definitely has not paid off. Like, he is in a bit of trouble at the moment. He's been overtaken by quite a few drivers, and possibly another overtake here for the Dr. Me in towards turn 1. Sorry, for Makiak in towards turn 1, but nothing doing. But down the straight, Jamie James definitely very close to, much closer than he was to Euro Ken last lap, but doesn't go for the move. Very late on the brakes towards turn 7, nearly ran straight into the back of the Alfa Romeo. But once again, nothing doing. G-Force Patterns unfortunately fallen out of DRS range, and Prime Vision is going for the move on Makiak here in towards turn 7. He's got the move on the Mercedes, so the Mercedes was looking to get the move. Oh, Jamie James has spinned it! Jamie James has spun out turn 10, and that could put an end to his challenge for the race win, and that could put an end to anyone's challenge for the race win. Could this be 3 wins out of 6 pending for Euro Ken? Half the season will be wins if he finishes up this race. But of course, SBR Drax can still change the narrative, so can GeForce Pato. But I think that's the end to Jamie James's hope for victory tonight, as he's now broken his front wing as well, so he will not be able to catch back up to those in front of him. But Passion Instant could be having a look here at the back of the McLaren as they now go through turn 18, 19 before heading down to 20 and 21, and the penultimate corner of the race round. Jamie James is into the pit lane. He's going to box for the soft compound tyres. It's going to be tough to gain back all the position. He's going to fall to like pretty much dead last. Like, he'll fall to P13 after this pit stop. So I don't know. I don't think he can. I don't think he has the pace in like how many ever laps we have left to catch back up to any of these guys. I think he'll get the 2 Ferraris. That's a certain. Whether he'll catch up to this battle though, for P8 and P9, that's still yet to be decided. But Makic has taken over that P8 position. Alexis Beast is out of the session. He is retired in the pit lane, but he becomes the 4th DNFE of tonight's race, as Mikel is he's had a really good few laps, and he's actually starting to put the pressure on Passion Instant for P3. But meanwhile at the front, Drax does not have enough to challenge Euro Ken realistically. Like, he has less ERS, he does just not as quick, and I don't think he'll be able to get within the DRS range. So I think his challenge for the race win is possibly over. GeForce Pato does have the chance to challenge the Haas for P2, but he's going to have to push hard to try and get his race win. So try to get that P2 position back. Reckless Beast are never retired in the pit lane. Did he crash then? Because I thought you just DNF'd in the pit lane. Maybe my bad, but either way, you are out of the session, and you are now the 4th DNF of tonight's race. And Drax has made a mistake somewhere in sector 1 or sector 3, because he's fallen 2 seconds adrift of the Ken, and GeForce Patos in his DRS range. So gonna be interesting to see what happens with those two, P2 and P3, for the rest of the race. But meanwhile, we have battle developing for P9, and battle quickly concluded as Passion Chester moves his Red Bull up into P9 ahead of the Dr. Me. But meanwhile, Jamie James is right there, and he's closing in so quickly on Passion Jack. Passion Jack's not even going to know what hit him once the McLaren catches up. I think I think P11 is the best that Jamie James can do here. Like, he'll get both Ferraris, but like, can he catch up? Because once he gets, first of all, he has to catch 11 seconds up to get past. Once he's gone past Passion Jack, he has to catch 11 seconds to Passion Rockin'. But even if he does do that, he has to catch up another 10 seconds to the rest of the pack, and he's actually binned it. Oh my god, he's binned it out of turn 17. Sorry, turn 13, and Passion Jack's good defense there has forced Jamie James to a mistake, and that's pretty much ended his chance of getting points tonight. But meanwhile, Kisiak is having a bit of a look at Prime Vizu here through turn 1 and 2. Nothing doing for the AlphaTauri, but he's going to have the better exit coming out of turn 3 and possibly out of turn 5 if he gets a good exit here, but not the greatest exit for the AlphaTauri. Didn't carry as much speed and wasn't as committed to the corner as Alfa Romeo in front of him. So now he could have dive bomb, look down the inside, but unfortunately nothing doing. But still a few laps to go in this race yet, so still time for him to make that move, and he has a lot more ERS than the Alfa Romeo in front of him right now. But as it stands, it'll be Euro Ken who takes his 3rd win of the season, 3 from 6 for the Alfa Romeo driver. It'll be Drax who takes his 2nd podium of the season, maybe his 3rd, but I believe only his 2nd after Miami. And GeForce Pato will take home another podium for McLaren, who will not be happy with how their day went. Started P2 and P3 and now going to finish probably P12 or P11, unless there's any late drama. But they've still lost out once again to Alfa Romeo, who, even though they've not had the best race, Euro Ken has had a typical race, but Prime Viz has not had his best race. Even though he's not had the best race, they're still managing to outscore McLaren, because both of their drives are in the points and they have consistency. That is the key to their massive lead at the moment in both championships, is their consistency, and at the moment no one can put a challenge to that. Like, Jamie James can do it one week, but then weeks like this he just makes mistakes and cannot consistently challenge for the top positions. But Prime Vizu having a bit of a look at Mikel here through turn 9, and they're going to keep this battle going through turn 10. It's a really nice battle between these guys, but I think Prime Vizu is going to have to back out of that move there in towards turn 11. Obviously never going to work 2 cars side by side. Well, it can work, but it's very, very rare. But Prime Viz is now going to set him up through turn 13, but he's actually run a bit deep himself, so could not get the cut-in angle or the switchback he was looking for there. But meanwhile, at the gap, at the front, the gap is 3 seconds between Eroken and Drax, and then it's almost 2.3 between Drax and GeForce Pato, and then 12.5 seconds back to Passion. So the top 3 definitely have heaps of pace right now, but unfortunately for them, not enough pace to attack each other. Like, Drax has to stick behind for now. Well, Drax can't get close enough to Yoroken, GeForce Pato can't get close enough to Drax, but Prime Mizu is getting close enough to Mikel and close enough to make a move, as Kisiak is actually into a pit lane for AlphaTauri. Probably has damage to the front wing of the AlphaTauri, so he's going to fall behind Jamie James now, who will be promoted. And it's actually whilst we've been watching the battles up the front, he's actually managed to get past Passion Jack, but Prime Vizu cannot make the move on Mikel there in towards turn 7. He's going to have to wait another lap. Jamie James has the fastest lap right now, and I believe that, well, everyone gets points, so that fastest lap probably will count, but it may only be top 10 only, as Xbox Crown Guy tyres in the pit lane. A disappointing week, a disappointing race for him. But here goes Prime Visu once again. He's all over the back of Mikel. Mikel's defending him quite aggressively here in towards turn 14, but Prime Visu is going to get the muscles out and barge his way through here, move himself up into P5. Fantastic racing from the pair, but Prime Visu moves up into top 5 to make it, as it stands, a double top 5 finish for Alfa Romeo. And as it stands, Prime Visu, even better news for him, he'll be promoted up into P4 because Passion Instant has 6 seconds of time penalties. Mikel will be promoted to P5. Makiek has 3 seconds and will fall behind Passion Chester. The Doctor Me will not be affected by his penalty. Passion Rocking is going to fall behind Jamie James here because of his penalty. Kisiak will not be affected by his penalty. Passion Jack will fall behind Verified, but Verified's an AI car, and so is Aero, or Aero may just be ghosted because Verified's AI car is actually lapping him. But either way, he's got 3 seconds time penalties, but I don't really think it's going to affect him. He's been in a world of his own this race, but he's into pit lane now, and he is in fact still in the session. So fair play to him for at least trying to carry on. Like, it's better than the guys who just given up in the pit lane. Fair play to him because he is going to get points at the end of the day. But looking at the points and how they work, if I can find the correct channel that they are in. There we go. So yeah, so I lied. Top 15 get points, not everyone gets points, and if you finish, you get your fastest lap point. So Jamie James will get his fastest lap point no matter what. Passion Jack is spun at the back, but Jamie James will be looking to climb up the position as much as possible, and he's going to do that here with an overtake on Passion Rocking in towards turn 1. DRS, ERS should be a simple overtake from the McLaren. He pulls out to the right, pulls out to the left, moves over to the right in the braking zone, and a simple move from McLaren. He's now up into the top 10, and if he pushes to within 3 seconds of the Dr. Me, he could possibly move himself up into P9, which would guarantee him 7 points. But at the moment, all the big points are going to Euro Ken at the top with 30 points, 23 for SBL Drax and 20 for GeForce Pato, as there's yellow flags in sector 1, and that's because of Passion Jack. And Passion Rockin' has actually just binned it. Ooh, Kisiak is very lucky. Kisiak just drove through. Oh my god, Euro Ken has binned it. Euro Ken has binned it here at the end of the Singapore Grand Prix. The Finnish driver has binned it, and he's not going to finish on the podium. His fantastic streak of podiums in every race is over, and ASBR Drax, I was saying it during the safety car, he's the one man. If luck was on his side, he could win tonight, and it looks like my prophecy is going to come true, because the Haas driver now leads the Singapore Grand Prix, and Euro Ken is down and possibly out of this Singapore Grand Prix. He's going to be down to P8 coming out of the pit lane, and surely there's not enough time for him to get back onto the podium. But Prime Visu will pick up the pieces for the Alfa Romeo team and finish on the podium. Euro Ken, even worse news for him, the Dr. Me has managed to get past him. But this is drama at the highest level. Euro Ken, who's led every race. No, That's a lie. He's led pretty much every lap of this race apart from the first stint before the first safety car. He's led pretty much every lap of this race. He's spun near the end and he's bottled what looked like it was going to be another cruising, dominating win here. And Prime Vizu, even though Passion Instant has a penalty, Prime Vizu wants to get it done on track and is harrying the Alpine, but Aero, unfortunately for him, after going on for so long, has crashed. And oh my god, Mikel's going to get the move here on Passion Chester. Oh, that is improvisation of the finest. But Passion Chester's going to fight back, to be fair, and does get the move back, to be fair to him. Passion Chester having to lift off because the ghosty car, but actually to get the move done anyways. Euroken's immediately gone past Dr. Me. He's going to be so upset with his mistake that he's made here tonight. It's going to end his streak of 100% podiums, as we're now onto the final lap of this Singapore Grand Prix, and SVR Drax is going to be absolutely, he's going to be jumping for joy here as he comes round the final few corners of the Singapore Grand Prix. But meanwhile, there's battle for P3. Prime Vizu gets the muscles out once again and makes a nice move on Passion Instant, puts himself up into the top three on track, and not just with penalties. And if Eurocamp pushes hard enough, now I was going to say he might benefit from penalties, but I think he's too far away to benefit from Makiek and Passion Instant's penalties. But the man, I said I knew this was his race to win tonight. If he had luck, I knew luck has been his downside this season, and I said if he had luck, I knew he'd win tonight. And he's done exactly that. He's had luck on his side, and SVR Drax is going to come around the final corners of the Singapore Grand Prix and win here in Singapore. The fireworks are out. SVR Drax is a race winner for the first time this season. G-Force Pato secures P2 for McLaren, meaning that McLaren have a good day in the office, as they might actually, no, I don't think so, but they reduced the point deficit that they got from Alfa Romeo. Prime Vizu will finish in P3. Nice recovery drive from him. Passion Instant will be happy with a P4 finish, which now comes P5 because Makiek moves up to P4 due to his less penalties. Passion Chester P6, P7 for Mikel. Eora Ken does take the fast lap of the Grand Prix, but unfortunately all those 30 points that were going his way have been whittled down to just a fastest lap and a P8 finish, which only gets him 9 points, well 10 if you add the fastest lap. Jamie Jones finishes in P9 as he benefits from the Dr. Me's penalty, who finishes in P10. Kisiak is 11th. Verify's AI card will finish in P12, and the last person to cross the line will be Passion Jack. So what a dramatic race here in PS Euro Series. It had wet tyres, it had inter tyres, it had slick tyres, it had safety cars, it had dramas, it had spins, it had everything this race. And it's ASVR Drax who's come away with the win. What a fantastic race by the Haas driver, and hopefully for the Haas driver there will be more to come for the rest of the season, with Passion Jack crosses the line to finish off the race. And we're now going to head towards the post-race interviews for this Singapore Grand Prix. But as we look through the podium celebrations that are about to take place, SVR Drax has taken his first victory of the season. Hopefully for him, many more are to come. I've currently got a black loan screen, but there he is, the man of the moment. SVR Drax wins in Singapore. He'll be so pleased with this victory, and we'll be hearing from him very soon. and the rest of the podium as well in the post-race interviews. But so we now go towards the final race results for the Singapore Grand Prix as the drivers spray their champagne. It's SVR Drax who won by 5.7 seconds to G-Force Pato, and Prime Visu rounded out the podium in P4. Makiek for Mercedes with Passion Instant rounding out the top 5 before Passion Chester finishing in P6, only marginally ahead of Mikel, who pushed him all the way to the line. Aero Ken, disappointing day for the championship leader, who only finishes in P8 but gets a fastest lap to boot. Jamie James in P9 for McLaren, he'll also be disappointed with how tonight went. The Dr. Me in P10, rounding out the top 10. Kisiek, Verify, Passion Jack, P11, 12 and 13, and then Passion Rockin, Aero, Xbox Crown Guy, Lexus Beast, Tarberg, Passion Ferretto, and Adam Mattis Cly were the DNFEs from tonight's race. But what a fantastic race, and now we're going to head towards the post-race interviews. But we just have to wait for Prime Visu to join the party, and then we can get underway.
I'm gonna send him a message on Discord.
Thank you.
I told him already.
Oh, okay. Well, quite an eventful race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Quite an eventful one. That double stack I had with my teammate, that was bad. That was bad for my race.
It was perfect for me, man.
I know. He's gonna join in a moment.
Okay.
Oh, Napoli's winning 5-1 against Ajax. Wow.
Jeez.
Is that game over already?
No, 67th minute. Oh, into Barcelona 1-1. Okay.
How's the standing between Tottenham and Frankfurt?
0-0.
No. Okay.
Yeah. And Leverkusen is 0-0 against Porto as well. Bayern won.
Liverpool's 0-0. I swear Trent scored a free kick.
Which team do you mean, Frankfurt or?
No, Liverpool game.
Yeah, Liverpool is playing.
No, I told Leverkusen, not Liverpool. Bayer Leverkusen.
Right.
No, Liverpool is winning 2-0.
Yeah.
There he is.
There we go.
Perfect. Let's get on the way.
So, slight change to the post-race interviews. I'm going to go from P3 to P1 now, instead of P1 down to P3. So, we'll start with Prime Visu for the first race interview.
Good evening. I am here.
Hello, mate. Congratulations on the podium. Obviously, not the ideal day for your team. Do you have any further insight in what happened to your teammate?
Okay, let's start from the start. Okay, first of all, the race was very solid from both both from me and Ken since the start, and just after the safety cars and when we changed the intermediate tires, I had a little collision with Pato. I lost the front wing. I mean, not like fully lost, but like I had light brown damage. Then another safety car came just when we started to change for the slicks. I forgot to set in the settings that I want my front wing to changed. It was on auto, so the mechanics didn't change the wing, so it was very frustrating. But, well, I came back to the pits. I set to the new hards, which was a very good call, to be honest, because hards work very well in this track as well. And yeah, I had a very good recovery, to be honest. What I'm very sad about now, and very frustrating, is that how Kalle's race just came, how it just went from perfect to just absolute worse. And I was just with Kalle in PlayStation Party, and he was very frustrated, and he raged at the end when he left the party. I'm honestly very sad at the moment. It totally hit me, his frustration. I can totally feel it, how it feels to just lose a lot of positions from first place. This track is so brutal.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, with the changing conditions, I'm just interested to know if you went for a dry setup or a wet setup.
I went with the dry setup. Thank you for asking. I had 50-50 wings, and transmission was on the 95%. But assumingly, all the settings, they were for the dry race, such as my suspension and everything.
Okay, yeah. And final question: how do you think you'll do next week at Suzuka, one of my personal favorite tracks?
Suzuka is a very fun track. It's fast, and I have enjoyed the race there. I haven't even touched Suzuka on this game yet, so I have to get a little touch for the track and how it feels with these new generation cars. But a very fun track, and when you say that it's one of your favorite personal tracks, I want to say my personal favorite. It's Interlagos. I can't wait to race there.
That's fair enough. It's an amazing track. Thank you for the interview, and
GG also.
best of luck with next week.
Yes, thank you very much. Much appreciated. I will talk for Kalle after this race. I try to chin him up. He really needs that.
Yeah, do it for us as well. Everyone knows what it feels like. So.
Yeah, bro, I had that in Spain as
thank you.
well, the second last lap, and it was so frustrating, man. I feel him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him, but one man that did benefit from his spin was our P2 finisher tonight, which was G-Force Platter.
Yeah, hello guys.
Congratulations on the podium. I just want to talk about the race in general. Do you think you could have won tonight's race if you weren't held up at the, if you weren't double stacked at the first safety car?
So, GG to the podium, first of all. Well, yeah, I had the same issue as Prime had, so we had to double stack in the first safety car. The problem was that my teammate changed his wing as well, so I had to wait a lot more than the others. And basically, with the safety car, basically Drax jumped me. And anyway, it's a good result because I never had the pace, to be honest. I felt I was really on the back foot on this track. It's not one of my best. And I'm really happy with P2. The only frustrating thing is that when I was about to put pressure on Drax, I just made a little mistake. and then my tires started to get cooked. So it was my only shot at the win, and didn't really capitalize on that. But anyway, it's a good result considering Ken's result as well. I know it's frustrating, but that's racing, and yeah, it happened the same to me in Miami. So I guess it's part of racing anyway. Anyway, I'm really happy.
Yeah, and obviously with tonight's result, you do for the first time, I believe, in the season, gain on Euro Ken. He currently sits in P1. Does that give you hope for the Drivers' Championship for the rest of the season?
Yeah, as I said last time as well, you always need to believe. And although this calendar doesn't really suit me well because I tend to be much better in the traditional European tracks, so basically in the first part of the season. But there are some really good tracks that I need really to improve on, but it's gonna be good. The next race is gonna be Japan, I think, right?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, best track ever for wheel users.
Yeah.
No, I love Suzuka, by the way, so it's gonna be really, really good to. We also have history, me and Drax at Suzuka.
Yeah.
You
That
remember
was a
the-
quite eventful race as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
he overtook me on the chicane on the last lap. If you don't know, yeah, and it was a wet race. Yeah, it was it was a mess of a race. But anyway, yeah, all good. We're gonna have fun with it for sure.
And obviously, with the wet conditions that changed to dry, you benefited tonight. Are you hoping for more of those races, or are you hoping that the rain will just stay out of the way?
Well, I'm not really good on the wet, to be honest. I feel like I'm quicker on dry, but it's always a learning curve, and I'm really glad, to be honest, that I didn't crash or broke anything during the wet period because Singapore, as Prime said as well, is a brutal track. And I'm actually really happy to have ended the race without any major shenanigans. By the way, I just wanted to say that we were side by side, me and Prime, and basically I wasn't side by side, but he had the snap of oversteer, and then we had contact, so that's what happened. And I also braked a lot because he would have collected me on the wall. And yeah, that was also a really scary moment, to be honest. By the way, I'm gonna send you my POV, Prime, if you want to, and yeah, all good.
All right, thank you, mate, and congratulations on another podium. Hopefully, you can keep it up in the next few rounds.
Thank you very much.
And on that note, we will move on to our race winner, SBR Drax.
Yeah, it's APSR Drax, just to let you know.
Oh, sorry. I've been saying it wrong.
You always said it wrong in the stream, and I just wanted to tell you it's APSR, but just call me Drax. It's much easier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, ask me a question, I guess.
Congratulations on your race win. Do you just want to? How do you feel about tonight's race and how it went for you overall?
Yeah, considering that I haven't practiced at all for this track, I'm, to be honest, very, very happy to pick up that win with the mistake Ken made on the second last lap. I just saw the yellow flags popping up in the third sector, and I saw the wine red dots just standing still, and it hyped me up a little bit. But yeah, it was quite eventful with the safety cars and the changing conditions. I don't really like the wet conditions, to be honest, and also I'm on the controller, so Singapore is even harder for me, especially the third sector. I'm losing quite a lot of time there, around about 4 to 5 tenths per lap. Yeah, I'm very glad to pick up that win today. Yeah.
Do you feel that tonight's race win was deserved for the bad luck that you've had like earlier during the season?
That's an interesting question. I think it levels. No, it evens out. Throughout the season for everyone. So I'm gonna benefit in some races, and they are going to benefit on other races on the mistakes the drivers made. Yeah, I guess uh, to be honest, not well deserved, but I take it, I guess.
And of course, with tonight's race win, you pick up a massive 30 points in the Drivers' Championship. So, do you think that there's any chance of you going for the title, possibly?
Yeah, Pato said it quite nicely. You always have to believe, and in racing, it all can pretty much happen in a single lap. You can break your front wing or stuff like that, and the title is gone. But yeah, it's still a chance there. But Ken was way quicker today, and it's gonna be tough to beat him.
Yeah, of course, mate. Well, congratulations on the race win. And just before we end of the stream, I would like to say that I thought you were going to win tonight. I said in the first safety car, if you had a bit of luck, you would take the race victory. So, quite
Thanks
proud
for
of myself
believing,
on
man.
that one.
Thanks for believing, man.
Quite proud of myself with that one. But anyways, we shall see you guys all again next week at Japan. Same time next week. Let's see who takes victory at Suzuka in what's going to be a very interesting race. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and I shall catch you all next week for round 7 of the PS Euro Series. Thank you and good night.